Brethren lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. We're going to be diving into the latest around Arsenal. Mikel Arteta has released his press conference ahead of the Everton game tomorrow. A couple of talking points in that one, confirming that Thomas Partey has trained today and will continue to train ahead of the Everton game. But then he was also talking about a few transfers, especially players that could leave the club because they're not getting enough game time. And he said, look, what happens. Right now we're focusing on winning each and every game. So if there are players that are going to leave because they're not getting game time, that's going to be a question for the summer. I really think we are talking about Kieran Tierney here because it's all over the news. Kieran Tierney wants to go to Newcastle because Arsenal are not giving him enough game time. Hit the like button, subscribe to the podcast as well. Of course, in the comment section, I want your thoughts, I want your opinions. If Partey and Jorginho are fit, because Partey played a part in the Leicester City game, so it should be okay to start in this one. If both of them are fit, it's going to be a selection dilemma for Mikel Arteta. I want your opinion here. Should we play Partey, who has been very good for us all season, and the team has looked better with them, like whole season? Or should we play Jorginho, who's been absolutely class ever since the Aston Villa game and the Leicester City game? Look, to be honest, if I'm Mikel Arteta, I would be putting out posters on notice boards for people to help me out. This is too much quality in that midfield. But let me know in the comment box below. Let's get this video to 500 likes. Also, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button and subscribe to me on my second channel, the 90 More Podcast. Let's get right into it. Right, so Mikel speaking to the media about a couple of issues. Number one was on the fitness, on how fit Thomas Partey is to start in the Everton game, and he said he hasn't trained much. He has had a session and he will train today. It is what it is. He was out for a few weeks and needs to get back into the rhythm right away. Now, I think this is one of those games where I think, again, Mikel Arteta might drop Thomas Partey just for precautionary issues. And of course, you've got to feel for Mikel. If you have a player like Jorginho who's playing well, and you have a game at home against Everton, who we know actually are going to need us to be more mobile rather than physical. It's going to be how we move the ball, how we break through the lines. It might be a Jorginho game, right? It might be a Jorginho game. I guess I think we will need some physicality. The likes of Amadou Onana are going to be running riot. The likes of Idrissa Gana Gueye are going to be running riot in that midfield. But how about playing Jorginho, who's had some consistency for a few games, something like 180 minutes of good football that is actually displayed for Arsenal, and then bring back Thomas Partey in a game like Bournemouth, where we are just going to dominate and he's going to be absolutely comfortable. Look, I don't know what he's going to do, Mikel. I don't know what he's going to do. But if Partey hasn't trained that much this week, if he only had a session yesterday and he's going to train again today, I would say we don't risk him. I would say, play Jorginho for 70 minutes, just like we did in the Leicester City game, and then definitely bring on Thomas Partey for game management. That is a game we're trying to win, and Jorginho can actually help us win against Everton. I think, he's more mobile. He can break through the lines as well. And he's a very attack-minded, holding midfielder. That's one of the things I love about him, especially these days, okay? On what happened between Saliba and Gabriel at the end of the Leicester City win. And he says they are a happy marriage. They love playing with each other, but they are really demanding of each other as well, which is good. Everything is fine as well. Let me tell you something. I didn't even capture that. Someone tell me what happened. I didn't capture the moment that we're talking about here. But I think the partnership Saliba and Gabriel have created is absolutely phenomenal. Yes, we don't celebrate when we put the ball out of play like Lisandro Martinez and Rafael Varane, but I think we have to ourselves one of the best young centre-back pairings in the world right now. To be honest, look, I look around the world. Josko Gvardiol is amazing, absolutely amazing. Last time I was looking at him against Erling Haaland, and he actually contained him very well. In the RB Leipzig game, I was looking at I was looking at the likes of Lisandro Martinez as well. He's so good. Steven Botman is very, very good. But what they don't have is that kind of pairing, right? So with Arsenal, you have William Saliba, who is literally 19, 20. And then you have Gabriel Magalhaes, who's only turning 24. We have gold at centre-back right now. On if Mikel Arteta has any comments on the use of VAR, and he says no, I don't have any comments. Like, we cannot look. I feel for him, Mikel. He cannot keep on complaining every single week about VAR, and every single week we have a decision wrong against Arsenal. Like, you just get tired of complaining, and I really, really do feel for him, in this regard. On if the Everton game is a case of revenge, it says no, it's a case of doing things better than we did when we played them a few weeks ago and earning the right to win the game. Hopefully tomorrow we will play much better than we did that day. Absolutely. Look, again, if you're going to look to do things better than you did, then that is revenge, in my opinion. You want to correct the mistakes. You want to be a little bit more aggressive. You want to be a little bit more quality in terms of your creating chances and finishing. That is revenge. But I don't want us to look at it in a way that, oh, they beat us, we should become emotional. I think Arsenal just go play their game, right? We are good at that. Just go play your game, and whatever comes out of that will come out. I think Arsenal don't even need to get out of gear 3. That is the best we should be going into. The best should be gear 3. If Arsenal go into gear 3, we win that game by 4-0. But it should be gear 5, gear 4, win the game, go to invite Bournemouth actually over the weekend, gear 4, gear 5, win that game. And then I think Sporting CP away, that is where you're going to need something like gear 2 to win that game, because with Sporting CP, it's a lot. We are asking for a clean sheet away from home, which will be amazing, and 2 away goals, okay? If Arsenal can do that, it's going to be much better. It's going to be really, really much better. So Mikel says, at the moment, it's not a case of revenge. It's a case of doing much better. Matching, playing better, matching their energy, and earning the opportunity to win that game. On whether he has shown the players the video of the game at Goodson Park, it says it's like with any other opponent. We showed them what they do, what they are about, what we expect to do to try to beat them, and nothing very, very different. Okay, on winning just once in 6 games against Sean Dyche, it says we have to improve. I think we really, really need to. And I think this time, against Sean Dyche, there are a few things that we are going to correct. One, we have to increase our unpredictability in the game. You cannot easily look at Eddie, because with Eddie, he's so predictable, and defenders are easily happy to stop him. It's a vocation for them. But with Leandro Trossard, Martinelli, and Saka up top, there is a lot more mobility. There is a lot more unpredictability. And look, it might be a case of, can they just stay into the game until the 70th minute, and then they try to win the game? So in my opinion, playing against a low block is one of the things we've got to learn as Arsenal, as a big team. That's one of the things we have to learn. That's one of the skills we have to pick up. You know why? Because when you go to play in the UEFA Champions League, you're going to play teams like Victoria Pilsen. You're going to play teams like Sheriff Tiraspol. Yes, at times they bring the game to you, but at times they sit back. Teams like AC Milan, teams like Inter Milan, right? At times they sit back. At times they frustrate you. At times they're annoying. At times they play it ugly. So we need to start winning games against teams that play a low block here and now. All right. Mikel Arteta on a win, giving us 60 points after 25 games. He says, on if we do, yes, but rather nothing, because we still have another 14 games to play. There is still a long run for us to go. Look, to be honest, I didn't even think at any point in time that Arsenal would be thinking about 60 points after 25 games. That is one, because we are used to finishing with 58, 59, 63 points. But with an extra 45 points to collect, it's amazing. It's purely amazing. Can you believe that right now, Arsenal can finish, if we win each and every game there is to win? I don't think we will, but if we do, Arsenal can finish with 99 points this campaign. 99. And everybody said, this is not Arsenal being good. This is Manchester City losing the title. Are you fucking mad? Are you sick in the head? 99 points, potentially 99 points. And Arsenal are not good. It is City who are bad. Potentially 99. Man City last season won it at 93. I believe Arsenal will win it if we do at 90. It will be at 90, right? And of course, tomorrow we'll be doing that match reaction for the Everton game, the preparation as well, the preparation stream for the Everton game. And on Friday, we'll be streaming live the Champions stream. Make sure you are tuned in as well, right? Mikel Arteta now on if it's becoming more difficult to know what his best 11 is. It says we assess the situation every single day. The fact is we have options now. We have players coming back from injury giving us alternatives, which is going to be very, very crucial. Players can't maintain the same level for 10 months. It's just impossible. We need to change. We have to generate alternatives and to be more unpredictable for opponents sometimes as well. We have all those options. That's what I'm talking about. You've got to be unpredictable in the way you play, in the way you line up. You've got to be unpredictable in the tactics you said. If we play through the middle and we are forced wide by Sean Dyche and we don't find our way around that old tactic, I'll be disappointed. That is what Sean Dyche is all about. From the Championship to his first season with Burnley, to his second season with Burnley, I think to his third season with Burnley. That's what he does. He chases you away from the midfield, forces you into wide areas, and then he doubles up on your wide players. Like, everybody knows that. I don't think Manchester City will struggle against Everton. That is if they have to play Everton anyway. I don't think they will struggle against Everton. Why? Because you double up on their best wingers, right? That is Jack Grealish and maybe Phil Foden or Riyad Mahrez. There is a Kevin De Bruyne that's gonna run the show, right? There is an Ike Gundogan that's gonna run the show. So, in my opinion, being more unpredictable and the options we have, by the way, I think Mikel is spotting right here. The options we have just make us a better side. They just make us a more difficult side. Just imagine taking off Leandro Trossard and then bringing on Eddie Nketiah, who has been useless in the past few weeks, but still, that is a change. Taking off Gabriel Martinelli and introducing Fabio Vieira or introducing Emile Smith-Rowe, those are two players coming on and have nothing in common with Gabriel Martinelli. They don't run a lot. They're masters at passing. Emile Smith-Rowe is a master at dribbling, right? And he's also a master at finishing from midfield. So I think, look, having our options, having our players coming back, that is something that we really, really need. Absolutely. Mikel on the preparation for Everton, he says obviously with Sean, it's quite clear what is done and where the success they've had is coming from. So tomorrow we will prepare in the game for the game in an appropriate and similar way to the away match. But with every manager, it's the same. We have to look at certain matches, what they do, and try to get right, tactics to beat them, and as well the same mentality and expectation of what we demand in the game. Right? I think, look, tactically, Mikel knows what to do. Right? This is a low block. This is one of the teams that are actually successful at playing a low block right this season. 5 games, 2 wins, 3 losses, playing a low block, sitting down. He will know what to do. I'm very, very positive on that. Really, really positive. Mikel on whether he misses the post-match tradition of having a drink with the opposition manager. He says, I haven't had that opportunity because after I joined 2 or 3 months later, we had COVID. COVID was probably a catalyst for losing that tradition, which is a shame because it was something special and generates a certain bond with managers. Maybe we can talk about it between us and get it back. No comments on that. Really not comments on that. I don't drink and not a big fan of alcohol. On how we got the team back on form, Mikel says we talked about the boxes and we've been much more efficient in both boxes. We cut out individual errors that cost us certain points in that period. The opponents play, and sometimes the opponents deserve to get something out of the game. But certainly, I think our level and the way we have played hasn't dropped at all. Yeah, look, to be honest, I don't think Arsenal really dropped off in this kind of manner where you're like, ooh, Arsenal become suddenly very, very poor. I don't think that's what happened. What happened is, in reality, is that teams were starting to be better than us, okay? Teams had raised their level and we had stayed in our comfort zone. And you remember when I said that Arteta needs a plan B very quickly, it meant that we are doing the same thing, so we are recycling the same information, but this time clubs are processing from a different kind of book, and they were actually trying to get the better of us. But after getting the same copy now, we are reading from the same book, and we are a little bit ahead. We've read more pages ahead. I think we are very, 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 very good to go. On how opponents view Arsenal, Mikel says, I don't know. We can't control the opponents, how the opponents are feeling or how they prepare for games. What we have to do tomorrow in front of our crowd is go full tilt. Got to win the game, play well, and compete really, really well against this team. On the importance of the crowd at the Emirates, he says that's going to be crucial. Tomorrow we expect to have the same support, because with that, we are going to be closer to winning the game for sure. On separating work from family life to help alleviate pressure, it says you can have difficulties and challenges in your job, which we do, especially when you lose. But when you're winning as well, because this job is so demanding, but you cannot destroy your life because of that. Your family, your friends, your loved ones, and the people around you don't deserve to have their lives affected in a negative way because you didn't win a football match. So that balance, in my case, is very, very crucial. But you need some help, of course, as well. If someone paints that picture in front of you, because sometimes because sometimes when you are in that position, it is not actually very, very easy. On sympathizing with Chelsea's boss Graham Potter, it says, absolutely, we are colleagues and we all know the pressure and the demands and the uncertainty that is in this industry. At the end of the day, the ball has to go into that net. And there are many factors that can prevent that, that are out of your control. So I fully empathize, because you suffer and you know how it is when you're going through such moments. All right. And if he ever received the level of abuse Potter has, it says, I prefer not to talk about that. On whether he likes our players challenging challenging each other, it says, I don't want robots. I want players with feelings, with passion, that they demand more from each other, and they have chemistry. And those two, Gabriel and Saliba, certainly have that chemistry on and off the field as well. Okay, that's impressive. On whether he has spoken to Bukayo Saka about not getting decisions, it says, we talk about every situation in the game and every moment that has an impact on the team individually or for him, and he needs to cope with that as well. On whether he tells him to come in from wide positions, it says there are many solutions. And finally, on Jakub Kiwior and Emil Smith-Rowe playing for the under-21s last night, it says they were really good. Obviously, they needed some minutes, and at the moment, they haven't had much exposure for different situations. It was great to see them on the field, because we are going to need them in the next couple of games. And lastly, on the possibility of losing players because they're not getting minutes, it says, I don't know. I'm not thinking about that right now. What I'm thinking about is what's best for the team and the players who earn the right to play minutes that they all deserve. We are going to try and do that in the next couple of games. Okay, that's Mikel Arteta and the press conference. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I didn't find so many interesting questions here, but the good thing is that he did give us information on the team news, which is that Thomas Partey has been training. He trained yesterday. He will train today as well. And if he's okay, he will be starting in this game. I'll see you in the next one. My predicted lineup will be coming up, of course. My final preview will be coming up. My final prediction will be coming up, of course. And the few changes that I think Arsenal should make to beat Everton. Of course, we'll be talking much more about how to beat Everton later. I'll see you in the next one.